Hello friends, let us now learn some important points about the disease leprosy. So, in the leprosy, it is mainly caused by the organism Mycobacterium leprae. So, Mycobacterium leprae is an acid-fast, gram-positive bacteria which is straight, slightly curved rods. It is less acid fast when compared to Mycobacterium tuberculosis, and only 5% of H2SO4 is used for discoloration of Mycobacterium leprae. So if you see the Mycobacterium leprae here, in Mycobacterium leprae, the bacilli are bound together by lipid-like substance. So they are surrounded by a lipid-like substance, and the masses of the bacilli, these different masses of the or groups of the bacilli are called as globi. In the globi, if you see, the bacteria are parallel to one another, and this parallel arrangement of bacilli in the globi is called as cigar bundle appearance. These globi, where are they found? They are found in these cells. These are in Virchow lepra cells or foamy cells. You will see presence of these globi. These globi are seen in Virchow or lepra cells. So the globi with Virchow or lepra cells is called as histiocytes or tissue macrophages. So this Mycobacterium leprae has this phenolic glycolipid 1. This phenolic glycolipid 1 acts as a virulence factor. It acts as a virulence factor. Then if we learn about the culture, the Mycobacterium leprae is an obligate intracellular organism which cannot be grown in the cell-free culture medium. Because it cannot be grown in cell-free culture medium, we can grow it in two animals. One, it can be grown in armadillo or nine-banded armadillo. This armadillo or nine-banded armadillo is highly susceptible, and it provides sufficient bacilli for a number of studies. So we can use it for studies. This armadillo can be used, and it can also be used for the production of skin test reagent, which is lepromin A. Then these can also be grown in the foot pad of mice, which is used for testing the sensitivity of anti-leprotic drug. It is used for testing the sensitivity of anti-leprotic drug. Replication in foot pad of mice is limited when compared to armadillo. Now, if you see the generation time of Mycobacterium leprae is around 12 to 13 days, and lepra bacilli has affinity from Schwann cells and also reticuloendothelial cells. It has affinity from Schwann cells and reticuloendothelial cells. So, Mycobacterium leprae grows better in the cold tissues when compared to other tissues. So, it grows better in skin, peripheral nerves, anterior chamber of eye. It grows better in upper respiratory tract and testes, where the temperature is a little lower on the lower side. It spares the warmer areas of the skin. What are the warmer areas? Warmer areas like axilla, groin, scalp, and midline of back are spared. Now, if you see the transmission of lepra bacilli, it is highly infectious, or it is a communicable disease with low pathogenicity. It is a communicable disease with low pathogenicity. Then attack rate among the household contacts. Attack rate among the household contacts is 4.4 to 12%. An infectious patient is rendered non-infectious. An infectious patient is rendered non-infectious by dapsone treatment in 90 days or by giving rifampicin treatment in 3 weeks. So, So you can use dapsone or rifampicin for treating the lepra bacilli. Then you can also use rifampicin has local application. Local application of rifampicin will also destroy all the bacilli in 8 days. All the bacilli in 8 days. Right now we are not using any of these things. We have separate regimens for Mycobacterium leprosy treatment. Then source of infection. The main source of infection is in multibacillary cases. This is most important. Then subclinical infection is also important for Mycobacterium leprae. Then mode of transmission. Mode of transmission of Mycobacterium leprae. Mode of transmission can be through droplet infection. It is most common mode of transmission. Then we have contact transmission, that is through direct contact transmission or indirect contact transmission. Direct is through skin to skin, whereas indirect is with contact with contaminated soil and fomites will be seen. And then we have others like breast milk. From lepromatous, for lepromatous leprosy, it can be through breast milk, or it can even transmit through insect vectors, or by tattooing needles also it can get transmitted. Then let us now learn some important points about the about leprosy. In the leprosy, the clinical features of leprosy are mainly confined to skin, peripheral nervous system, and they are also confined to, sometimes they are seen in upper respiratory tract, and sometimes the clinical features are seen in eyes and testes. So if you see the Mycobacterium leprae, it grows better in cooler places when compared to warmer areas, as already said. So the warmer areas like the axilla, groin, scalp, midline back, ovaries, and central nervous system, all these areas are being spared in leprosy because they are warmer areas, whereas cooler areas like skin, peripheral nervous tissue, and anterior chamber of eye, upper respiratory tract are seen in leprosy. Virchoous lepra cells or foamy cells are large undifferentiated histiocytes. They are large undifferentiated histiocytes, and these contain lepra bacilli. And they contain lepra bacilli, and they have abundant. These lepra bacilli are abundant in lepromatous leprosy. So if you see the classification of leprosy. So in the classification of leprosy, leprosy can be classified into two types. One, there is no skin involvement. Second, there can be skin involvement. So if there can be skin involvement. So first, if there is no skin involvement, we call it as purely neuritic leprosy. If there is skin involvement, it is determinate leprosy, or it can also be called as indeterminate or intermediate leprosy. Determinate leprosy or intermediate leprosy. Indeterminate leprosy, we have tuberculoid, borderline tuberculoid, borderline lepromatous, and also lepromatous leprosy. So the first tuberculoid type of leprosy is the most common form in India. So if you see the spectrum, in the spectrum, first, increase in number of lesions. Increase in number of lesions, based on that we can divide them into polar tuberculoid leprosy and polar lepromatous leprosy. If it's polar tuberculoid leprosy, you will see solitary lesion. If it is polar lepromatous leprosy, you will see that the lesions are maximum lesions are seen. Now, first in tuberculoid leprosy, so if you see the flow from tuberculoid leprosy and lepromatous leprosy, tuberculoid leprosy is asymptomatic, whereas slowly in lepromatous leprosy it will be symptomatic. Then tuberculoid leprosy is well defined and lepromatous leprosy is poorly defined. Then tuberculoid leprosy has less bacterial load when compared to less bacterial load when compared to lepromatous leprosy, which has more bacterial load. Then in tuberculosis leprosy, you will see presence of maximum decrease in cellular immunity is seen in tuberculosis leprosy, whereas least cellular immunity is seen in lepromatous leprosy. Maximum cellular immunity is seen in tuberculosis leprosy, least cellular immunity in lepromatous leprosy. Then if you see the sensory loss, in tuberculosis leprosy, you will see definitive sensory loss is seen. In lepromatous leprosy, you will see presence of glove and stocking anesthesia is seen. In tuberculosis leprosy, there will be CD4 is to CD8 ratio is equal to 1. In lepromatous leprosy, the ratio is reversed. Tuberculosis leprosy, cytokines, interleukin 2, interferon gamma, interleukin 12 are important in tuberculosis leprosy. Whereas in lepromatous leprosy, you will see that interleukin 4, 5, 10 are important. So all these together we call it as tuberculosis leprosy. All these together we call it we can classify it as lepromatous leprosy. So as we have already seen, there are two polar types of leprosy. So in the two polar types of leprosy, we can divide it into two types. One, we have tuberculosis leprosy. Second, we have lepromatous leprosy. So in tuberculosis leprosy, this tuberculosis leprosy is actually less severe. It is less severe. Tuberculosis leprosy is less severe. It is minimally infectious, and whereas lepromatous leprosy is more severe and it is involved in maximal infection is seen in lepromatous leprosy. Tuberculosis leprosy is associated with HLA-DR2, whereas lepromatous leprosy is associated with HLA-MT1 and HLA-DQ1. Tuberculosis leprosy is asymmetric, whereas lepromatous leprosy is symmetric. Tuberculosis leprosy has less lesions. Lepromatous leprosy has maximum lesions are seen. Tuberculosis leprosy is confined to skin and peripheral nerves. It is mainly confined to the skin and peripheral nerves, which mainly involves the ulnar nerve, followed by posterior auricular, then peroneal, then posterior tibial nerve. Then in lepromatous leprosy, all organ systems are involved except the lungs and CNS. Then one or few hypopigmented, hypoaesthetic macule or plaque are involved. Whereas in lepromatous leprosy, multiple skin nodules or raised plaques are involved in lepromatous leprosy. Then in tuberculosis leprosy, nerve involvement is mainly due to the external compression by the granuloma. Whereas in lepromatous leprosy, nerve involvement is due to direct invasion of bacilli. You have lepromatous leprosy. Then in tuberculosis leprosy, AFB is generally absent or few in number. Whereas in lepromatous leprosy, multiple bacilli are seen within the histiocytes. There are multiple bacilli within histiocytes are present, that is lepra cells or Virchow cells are present. These are seen outside, these are the outside cells. Then in tuberculosis leprosy, cell-mediated immunity is present. It's not absent, it is present. Whereas in lepromatous leprosy, cell-mediated immunity is absent. In tuberculosis leprosy, normal humoral response is seen. In lepromatous leprosy, you will see presence of exaggerated exaggerated humoral response is seen within the hypergamma globulinemia, and you will also see presence of reverse albumin to globulin ratio is also seen in lepromatous leprosy. Tuberculosis leprosy, the lesions will have granulomatous inflammation. They have granulomatous inflammation with main predominance of cells like CD4 plus cells are more, and interleukin 2, interferon gamma, interleukin 12 are more in tuberculosis leprosy. In lepromatous leprosy, you will see presence of non-granular matters with predominance of CD8 plus T cells, interleukin 4, 5 and 10. In tuberculoid leprosy, lepromin test is positive. In lepromatous leprosy, lepromin test is negative. Tuberculoid leprosy, antibody to Mycobacterium leprae, phenolic glycolipid 1 are less common, whereas in lepromatous leprosy, antibody to PGL1 are more common, that is almost 95%. In lepromatous leprosy, antibody to PGL1 are 95%. Now we will see the different types of leprosy again. So we have again 5 types of leprosy. So one, we have indeterminate leprosy, then we have tuberculoid leprosy, then borderline tuberculoid, borderline leprosy, and we have lepromatous leprosy. So first we have indeterminate leprosy. In indeterminate leprosy, this is indeterminate leprosy. In this, you will see presence of vague hypopigmented patch, which is solitary lesion, and here no nerve is involved in indeterminate leprosy. And in indeterminate leprosy, there is presence of doubtful sensory loss is seen. You will see presence of doubtful sensory loss is seen in indeterminate leprosy. And here spontaneous healing occurs in indeterminate leprosy. Then the second, we have tuberculoid leprosy. In tuberculoid leprosy, you will see presence of well-defined round patch is seen with solitary number, that is one patch is seen, and local nerve is thickened, and there is definitive sensory loss is seen in tuberculoid leprosy. Then third, borderline tuberculoid leprosy. In borderline tuberculoid leprosy, here there is large oval or round patch is seen with raised border. So here it is 1 to 2 in number with satellite lesions are seen, and there is thickness of the local nerves are thickened. Definitive sensory loss is seen on the patch. Definitive sensory loss is seen on the patch with type 1 reaction also occurs in borderline leprosy. Borderline tuberculoid leprosy. Then we have borderline leprosy, lepromatous leprosy. We have borderline lepromatous leprosy. This is borderline tuberculoid leprosy. Then next we have borderline lepromatous leprosy. In borderline lepromatous leprosy, here you will see presence of smaller hypopigmented patches or plaques are seen. Hypopigmented patches or plaques are seen which are more than 10 macules, papules, plaques are punched out or inverted saucer lesions are seen. So these are, here you will see presence of symmetrical nerve thickness are seen with less definite sensory loss is seen on the patches showing hypoesthesias, and you will see presence of type 1 and type 2 lepra reactions are also seen in borderline leprosy. Then fifth, we have lepromatous leprosy. In lepromatous leprosy, you have number 1, small erythematous patches are seen. Small erythematous patches and macules are seen in lepromatous leprosy. These are innumerable, shiny, oil smeared appearance is seen. You will see presence of macules, patches and nodules are seen. In lepromatous leprosy, you will see presence of late symmetrical nerve thickening is seen with late globe and stalking anesthesia. Then in lepromatous leprosy, there will be presence of leonine phases with infiltration of earlobes, eyebrows, and also infiltration of pedal edema will be seen. Here you will see presence of type 2 erythema nodosum leprosum is seen. In lepromatous leprosy, there is type 2 erythema nodosum leprosum is seen. Then the sixth and last type we have primary neural leprosy. The sixth type we have primary neural leprosy. In primary neural leprosy, you will see presence of single or multiple nerves are thickened with regional sensory loss is seen. Single or multiple nerves are thickened with regional sensory loss, and you see presence of type 1 lepra reaction is also seen in primary neural leprosy. Okay, then the last type of leprosy which is important is as we have already seen lepromatous leprosy, right? So in the lepromatous leprosy we will see some important points. So in lepromatous leprosy there will be presence of diffuse erythema, tingling, nasal stuffiness or epistaxis is seen. So in lepromatous leprosy, you will see early stages, you will see diffuse erythematous, tingling, nasal stuffiness or epistaxis is seen. Nodules are seen with predilection for external ears. You will also see presence of madarosis. What is madarosis? Madarosis is you will see that there will be loss of eyelashes or eyebrows are seen, and saddle nose will be seen where there is collapse of the nasal bridge is seen in the saddle nose. Then there will be perforation of the palate. Perforation of palate is also seen. Then there are testicular involvement is seen. So in testicular involvement there will be loss of testicular sensations, there will be loss of libido, and there will be impotence and gynecomastia are seen in the patients with lepromatous leprosy. There is leonine phases. What is leonine phases? It is dermal infiltration of the face is seen, and there is symmetrical thickening of the peripheral nerves is also seen in lepromatous leprosy. Topical ulcer or presence of neuropathic ulcer. There is topical ulcer or there is neuropathic ulcer or there is perforating ulcers are seen. So these are seen mainly because of the sensory impairment. Because in this lepromatous leprosy, sensory impairment occurs before the appearance of motor weakness. Then there will be systemic involvement. So in the systemic involvement, you will see there will be lymphadenopathy, hepatomegaly is seen, and there is also ocular involvement is seen. Then the next important type is histoid leprosy, or also called as histoid Hansen. In histoid leprosy or histoid Hansen, this is actually a distinct variety of lepromatous leprosy. It is a distinct variant of lepromatous leprosy. This mainly occurs due to the result of Mycobacterium leprae resistance. Because of Mycobacterium leprae resistance, you will see presence of histoid leprosy. Thank you.